Alright, so here's a map I made of, well, I didn't make the map. I just put the pallets where they belong, and I put red boxes for every window and where the gates are. But yeah, for mobile, none of these things move. I don't know about on core, but I know none of these rooms move, so the pallets are always in the same spot. Sometimes a window might be in a different spot, and there might not be a basement window in the library sometimes. It depends where the basement spawns. If that window's there, and there's one window in the library that changes. So yeah, besides the upstairs windows, this is a perfect map of Lery's on mobile. I'm gonna attempt to make a guide of this map, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I feel like I should start by main, because that's the easiest spot in the map to remember. Basically, it's separated into, there's two main parts of the map. The main part, which is the big room with the TVs right here, and the other room on the other side, which is like an office or a library, whatever you want to call it. So this is the main room. Did we get the basement spawn? Okay. The basement spawn is here, which means this window is useless, unfortunately. You don't want the basement to be here. You want it to be in the library. But I can change that up later. Alright, so basically, main has 4 windows on each side. Upstairs opens up when you finish this gen, and it gets stronger. But basically, main is all about this window here. So you vault this, the killer has to follow you this way, and either you have to see how much distance you have. If the killer's right on you, you're gonna have to take this window, and this is a very strong window as well. But you do have to wait a bit, and he will most likely come around this way. But what you can do from there, unfortunately this window's not available, but you can go to that. If you have enough distance, you can come back this way. And if this window is open, it would be great, but you can't really do that. Also, if you pre-drop this pallet, they have to go around, so you can continue doing this. And go around like this, and it's basically an infinite. And we got the bot killer on us, which is fine, because they're gonna get stuck. Alright, well, let's just say you blocked out the window or something, and you have to come this way. Alright, what I'm going to show you is an example of pre-dropping a pallet, and it makes the loop stronger. Keep in mind that most of the time you have to be coming from a specific direction for this to work. And then you have this tile here, which is connected with this tile here, isn't as bad. Especially if the killer isn't paying attention, you have that. Because the killer comes from this direction. If they don't force you the wrong way. We'll talk about this exit gate is right here as well. And this pallet is very safe. I'm pretty sure Huntress and Trickster can throw over it, but that's an exception. This pallet is very safe. If you drop it early and you don't try and be fancy with the vacuum, because if you try and be fancy with a vacuum, and the killer is going around this, you're gonna die. If they have blowless, you're gonna die. I don't completely agree with what I'm saying here, because some killers, they might be 4.4 or whatever, you might want to vacuum it on them. Or if you observe the killer's habits and they don't respect, you just drop it in their face with a little vacuum. Or you see them respect it every single time,
You might hit him with a vacuum eventually. But I'm just saying, if you want to play it completely safe, pre-drop it and you're chilling. That's all I'm saying.
You're not going to be able to drop it and make it back around. You're going to want to drop it when the killer's like here. You're not going to want to play it. You're not going to want to try and vacuum this. Unless it's a huntress, of course. Then you're going to have to, you know. But yeah, you just want to drop this one away. And then you can do what you want to do. Resilience vaults, fake vaults, whatever you want to do. But this pallet is safe for the most part. Unless they have Bloodlust 3, you know, like every pallet in the game. Probably just come up in here. Give them this. If they force you the wrong direction, you get a vault for free. Come around the wrong direction, you get this vault for free. Ew. There's an alternate route you can take as well if they're coming from this direction. Instead of vaulting, this window is not the best, but sometimes you might be coming from that direction. You just vault it just to vault it. And this is the only window you really want to vault. But if they force you that way, you can literally just come back this way. Here. And they come this way, and you know what to do. Watch them. They go that way. There's literally a path. Don't get trapped in that corner, by the way. It's happened to me a couple times. Forgetting that's there. This pallet you never want to drop. You're going to die if you drop it. You're better off just greeting till you die. You're better off just standing here, greeting it till you die, waiting for a swing. Maybe your reaction time is godly, and you get a stun. But you definitely don't want to drop that early, ever. But yeah, you can stay here. Maybe they mind game the wrong way again. Maybe they block you off from this window because they know. It's okay. You can just come back in here. You can just come back in here. And this pallet's safe. Maybe you don't want to use that pallet. You want to save it because it's... Alright, so what I said before about this window. The window itself is not good. But this window literally is just to segue into the other window that's way better. But of course, it depends on what way the killer forces you. But based off of which direction the killer comes from, you have multiple options. But when you're vaulting this window from this direction, you have to make sure the killer is coming from your right of the way your character facing in this example. Because if he comes from your left, you can't make the other window in front of you without him going around the corner. This one again is a pre-drop pallet. If they force you the wrong way, if they know too much and they force you that way, you're probably dead. But if they don't force you the wrong way, you come here and you can. This is pretty much an infinite if they keep forcing the wrong direction. Maybe they come around that way. It's disgusting. That's a little difficult, but that's not what you want to do. Run that way. You're gonna die eventually if you stay here. You don't want to stay here. You want to leave this area if you can, if possible, but you probably won't be able to leave this area. This pallet is terrible. There's nothing over here at all. Like nothing. Maybe if you're Iron Will, you can leave and they won't see you, but for the most part, this pallet is terrible. Room is terrible. Do not come in this room. This window is trash. This is another pre-drop pallet. This pallet is actually an infinite. It's very strong if you pre-drop it, and the killer does not break it like an idiot. Because you can literally just go around, and the killer is forced to break it. The bot left me. The killer has to break this pallet. It is disgusting. If the killer does not break this, they're an idiot, or they're not an M1 killer. Moving on. I'll show you. This room is actually not that bad with the basement not being there. That window is useless. The basement's there. Moving on down the left side of the map, we're almost towards the exit gate over there. This is a double window setup that isn't very... This window is pretty much useless. Because with this double window setup, if the killer comes from this way, you're dead. You're literally dead if the killer comes from this doorway right here. You cannot make it back around to this window. This window by itself is the problem for killers. This window is disgusting. If you lose this window on its own, you literally will never get hit on this window. Because look at this thing. The hook and this thing, get away from me, Claudette, are literally blocking the window. Let's just say you block it off, then you can run away. Maybe you'll use this window and get out of here. And that is when the basement being here is bad, because you cannot get out of that situation because the basement is right there. You cannot run this direction. You're gonna die. You have to use this terrible pallet here, which you have to get this done. You're better off greeting this pallet and running. You're gonna die if you drop it. Alright, we're getting close to the exit gate. This pallet is a safe pallet. You're really not gonna get mind gamed here, but the killer will break it here, and you have to get out of this corner or else you're screwed. You really want to drop it on this side, but the smart killer will not let you drop it on them on this side. So you're gonna have to try and anticipate them breaking the pallet and get out of here. And especially since pallet breaks are faster now since the update, you have to be ready to move. Moving on to another broken window next to this broken window. And this is not the good window spawn here as well, but it's still disgusting. This window is broken. This window is also broken. That is the angle you want to take it from. Or from here to here is also disgusting. But yeah, unless the killer is bamboozled on both of these windows over here, it's literally 3 volts block it. Let's say it's blocked now. You can run into this room. And this is a whole different thing over here. This is also disgusting. This pallet being here, if this pallet is here, you're not gonna get hit here. This window is actually is better than it looks. But you don't wanna, this is the pallet you don't wanna drop right away. You wanna keep this pallet here, and the killer follows you this way. You go here, and they come from the doorway. You run around, come back this way. Tries to mind game it maybe. You vault this. The killer is most likely going to come from this direction because they're trying to force you away. They're going to go towards the side that's closest to the window. So they're going to go this way, which leads back into the library. And unfortunately, this window is not open, but I can show you an example when the window is open. But that still is disgusting, because then you can run the library on its own. But this window being open, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. Well, let's just talk about this window for now. But this window is not the strongest window, as you can see. You're gonna have to wait for the killer to come, and then hopefully you don't get mind game. This is not the window you want to pull. If you want to take your chances, go for it. You have dead hard. You can stand here. You'll wait for the killer to swing and you'll be chilling. But this is not a good window. That is probably the best strategy you can do. Is just either, if you have life, just take it and run, or if you're dead hard, just wait here for the killer to swing and you'll be chilling. But yeah, this window is, you cannot see the killer through this window. It's impossible to react to that fast. But yeah, this window is disgusting. It leads into another, it leads into another disgusting room. Okay, this isn't a good example. I can take it this way, and then I can run all the way to this broken window as well. Or, I shouldn't say I'm running this. The good window's not open, unfortunately. Let's say you have enough distance, you can make it here. He's gonna follow you this way. Keep in mind, this is only one part. This is only one side of the map. The other side is also good. This is only one side of the map and main that I've shown you, and the buildings behind main. So let's say you blocked it out. You still, if you block the window out, you can still come back here. Oh no. Let's just ignore that. That was the last one, right? But yeah, basically the killer force you that way. You have this. And if he doesn't vault, you can go over here. And you're here. And you're looping. There is a god palette back there as well. If you feel like the killer is zooming. Oh no, he's Bloodlust 3. What will I ever do? There's a god palette here. Just for you. There's so much stuff over here, it's just disgusting. Alright, so this is the god window. Alright, so I'm gonna show you. The killer follows you in this direction. You're gonna go here. And then you want to leave if you want. You can come back around this way. This is just an example. The killer might. We do have to get him back. That's an example. So the killer's coming around this way. You're gonna go here. Let's have this. That's basically what you want to do. You want to leave this path. Alright, so main is done, so it basically just adds to the loop. Let me just try this so I can show you. Basically, main being done means every window upstairs is open. So we're just gonna wanna pretend like we're looping it normally. This is an infinite, by the way. It doesn't matter if the pallet's up or down. If the pallet's down, it's an infinite. But if it's not down, if it's up, they're most likely gonna respect it because it's so unsafe that you don't ever want to drop that pallet unless you're pre-dropping it. So let's just say maybe they double back. If they're close enough to you, if you can see them down there coming up the stairs, you can vote this and then hit it this way. Or if you come down, drop down, you go back this way. Ignore that. Maybe they aren't close enough, so you can just go around all the way, waste their time all the way around. Never vault this window. This window is terrible. You're safe here. You literally just have to wait until the killer comes halfway and you're out of there. Maybe they drop down the hole and you just go this way. And it's back to this. Maybe they're a little too close, they bamboozle, you come this way.
Alright, so that's all I got. Basically, the name of the game on Lery's is to just leave loops as much as possible. Especially if you have Iron Will, chaining things together on Lery's is just disgusting. But yeah, I hope this is helpful. Appreciate you viewing the video.